Hello, let's discuss on the topic secondary growth. Secondary growth refers to the increase in the girth of the plant body, that is increase in size. Now, the secondary growth occur in two regions in plant body. One is vascular region and the other is the cortical region. The vascular region is also called as intrastellar region. Now, this region in vascular region are found inside the endodermis, and the cells that is on the inner side of the endodermis, they form the stellate. Therefore, this vascular region is also called as intrastellar region. The vascular bundles is composed of the phloem and the xylem, and a cambium is found in between this phloem and the xylem. So the cambium that is present between them are called as the intravesicular cambium. Now, the rays in between this vascular cambium, there is a ray that is running all along in between these two vascular bundles. So these rays are called as the medullary ray. Both this cambium, that is the intravesicular cambium, and the medullary ray, they begin to divide to give rise to secondary tissues. Now, medullary ray, after some time, they begin to regain their ability to divide, and they begin to attach with the intravesicular cambium, forming a ring. So this ring that is formed by the attachment of the medullary rays and the intravesicular cambium is called as the intervesicular cambium. Now, the division of this intervesicular cambium give rise to secondary tissues, that is the secondary phloem on the outer side and secondary xylem on the inner side. Now, the division of the intervesicular cambium on the outer side give rise to a mass of cells that is encircling the entire length of this cambium. This secondary xylem that is formed on the outer side is called, these cells which is formed on the outer side of this intervesicular cambium is called as the secondary phloem, and this secondary phloem, due to its formation, begin to push the primary phloem towards the outer side, and this formation keeps on going along the entire length. Now, the division of the intervesicular cambium on the inward side begin to form the secondary tissues called the secondary xylem, and this formation of secondary xylem takes place on the inner side along the entire length. This formation of this secondary tissue begin to push the xylem towards the inner side, that is the pit, and later on the entire formation of these secondary tissues begin later on the pushing of this primary xylem towards the inner side begin to crush the pit. Hence, the pit began to almost disappear. Now, these two tissues, that is the secondary phloem and the secondary xylem, after some time they begin to form a ring. So this due to secondary growth in the vascular region, the two new ring are added. So these two new ring are, one on the outer side is called as the secondary phloem, and the ring on the inner side is called as the secondary xylem. So this result in the increase in the vascular region. So this growth is also called as secondary growth of vascular region or secondary growth of the intrastellar region. Now, let's discuss on the secondary growth in the cortical region. The region, the development, the secondary growth in the cortical region is also called as extrastellar region, because this secondary growth takes place outside the endodermis. In this growth, some of the cells of the parenchyma cortex begin to specialize. So this is the cortical region, and this strip of the cells, let's say this is the strip of the cells, and this strip of the cells, they regain their ability to divide. That means they become meristematic. So this meristematic cells of this cortical region is called as the core cambium or phelogen. Now, the division of this core cambium takes place on both outer and the inner side. The division on the outer side gives rise to a new group of cells called as the cork cell or the phylum. These cork cells are covered with a thick and impervious material called as the suberin. So this suberin is impervious to water. That means they do not allow movement or flow of water inside them. Now outer side of this cork is present the primary cortex and the epidermis. Now the division of this cork cambium or phalogen on the inner side give rise to a parenchymatous group of cell called as the secondary cortex or the phalloderm. Now this layer, the secondary growth in this layer give rise to three group of cell called as the cortex, the cork cambium and the phalloderm. So these three group of cells that is formed by the secondary growth in the cortical region together form the periderm. After some time, when the secondary growth takes place, the epidermis and the primary cortex begin to lose. It is because due to the reason that the suberin, the cork cell which contain the suberin do not allow the movement of water from the inside to this primary cortex and the epidermis. Hence, these begin to dry up and they begin to lose from the plant body. Hence, after the secondary division takes place, the outermost layer of the plant body is composed of the cork. After the complete division of the secondary growth, 4 new cells develop in the plant body. There is cork and the secondary cortex, which are found in the cortical region, and the secondary phloem and the secondary xylem in the vascular region. So this is all about the secondary growth.